To get back on my screen. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Spirit Sessions, The View of the Light. Come on in. I'm so glad to see you. We have got a really great show this morning. So I put it all on sticky notes, this amazing intro, too. I just admire Dr. Amber Wolf so much. So I wanted to say all these things. She's an internationally known teacher, facilitator, author, recording artist, healing intuitive, and channeler. With her unique voice, she's got healing properties to it, and she's been inspired to create 9 healing meditation albums to assist you with your empowerment and your transformation. She is a producer of the Cryon Discovery series and a Cryon team member presenting with Lee Carroll. This is where I've heard her. I have listened to her. Before the Cryon channels, there's this awesome soothing and grounding meditation. That's Dr. Amber Wolf. I just love those meditations. So here she is. And then now I enjoy her teachings on YouTube and through her Facebook page and group, Lemurian Sisterhood Global. And I love when she channels the Star Mothers. That energy is really a special energy. And she's also got a powerful deck of cards that are the Lemurian codes for healing. And I'll show you guys that just a little bit. There's my favorite one on front. And you could see how these would all be so powerful. And so you can find her on her Facebook page. Let's see, where did I write that one down at? And group, and well, I've put it all in the links. It's amberwolfphd.com, and then on Facebook it's the Lemurian Sisterhood Global group, and there's a page for that too. So that's where you can find her. So, Dr. Amber Wolf, yay! Welcome to our show. I'm glad to have you.
Thank you, Teresa. It's a lovely way to start my Saturday here in the Rocky Mountains. So thank you for having me.
Woohoo. And so you just got back from Vancouver. What were you guys doing there?
Well, it was the Science and Spirituality event. So it was a week-long event with Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden, Lynn McTaggart, Lee Carroll, me, and Marilyn Harper, Prageet Harris. Yeah.
Beautiful.
It was, and there were, I think, 1,300 people at, one time or another. So it was I just love it because that's my family. And so I get to be with my family in yet another amazing, beautiful setting and feel all of us together and how we create this magnificent, uplifted energy.
Oh, yes. I love that. And I love listening to you all, too. Today we're missing Rhonda Elliott, and she's gone over toward the Vancouver area. Isn't that right, Bex, where she went over there?
She went somewhere out in the wilderness. That's what I know.
Yeah, somewhere. And she's
so, yeah.
She's got
Lucky
no Wi-Fi, or she would be here with us right now doing the technical stuff. So, Bex, do you see any comments and things yet?
Oh, there's already a ton of comments. People are so excited right now. We have William Blank says, hi, girls. Shelly Soul is on. She's so excited. Yes. Nicole Green said, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I got my first Lemurian crystal a couple of days ago. I cannot put it down.
Ooh, yes.
Let's see. Yeah, there's tons of people. Linda Hickton says hello from Saskatchewan, Canada. Kelly Jean McGrain says happy Super Soul Sunday all. So there's lots of people on here hanging out and being so excited to hang out with us.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Awesome. So, Amber, I want to know more about Lemuria right now.
Okay.
What can you tell us that you remember from your Akashic records?
After my Akashic awakening happened, it was it's interesting because the Star Mothers know my soul in this lifetime, and so what they brought me was little bits. It was like following a little breadcrumb trail, maybe a chocolate chip cookie crumb trail in my case, so that I could digest each piece at a time. And it took me some time to recognize what the actual process of the Akashic awakening was, and then what it meant in the world. And I really couldn't have done that without Lee Carroll. He really became sort of well, not sort of, he was a guiding light for me during those days because I had no point of reference. It wasn't like I woke up and, it was like all there. It was
Right.
not all there. It was, well, here's a crumb and here's a crumb and here's a piece and here's a piece. And how do they all go together? And Lee and Cryon, from their expanded place, were able to see that. When it's in your face, you don't have that bigger view. So when he would say, this means this, or you should try that, I immediately would be, oh yeah, that's it. But so I'm so appreciative of that connection for me and Spirit's plan, that I wouldn't just wake up to this like, and what the heck is it? That there was already someone in my world who was in place, who knew this direction. And so and when I got my Lemurian priestess name from Cryon, so it was 2011 when I had my Akashic awakening, but it was 2014 when I finally knew that part. So that's a lot of digestion time. And that was the time of creating the sisterhood circles. And in 2014 was the first time Cryon channeled to a Lemurian sisterhood circle. And now the channels from those past 4 years are on my website, and you can hear the unfolding of my Akash and the unfolding of the sisterhood and the different things that Cryon was telling me, pulling from my Akash. And the most recent thing that's come into all of our lives is the teaching wheel, the Lemurian teaching wheel. And that was in December in 2017 in Hawaii, Lemuria, when Cryon really literally out of the blue and quite unexpectedly to all of us said that he was pulling from the Akash of the two women around his partner, who is Lee, and Kahuna Kale was one and I was the other, and created the basic structure of the teaching wheel from the Akash that we carry. So it really isn't a one-time unfolding. It's not like you just wake up and it's all there. I believe that Spirit gives us a path to follow and hints and helpers. And most recently, when we were in England, Cryon talked a lot about the hero's journey or the heroine's journey.
Yes.
And that's just such a great archetype. And I really have resonated with, that is my journey. This Lemurian sisterhood is my grail, and that I have my grail companions, and that I also have the wizard, which is all a part of that. And so when I look at it in that metaphoric way, that archetypical way, we can look at a lot of our lives in that way and see the different times when we've had a quest and, we had obstacles and we didn't know, and then, our companions show up and our wizard shows up and help guide us through all those things. So, and that part of the Akash, and then the actual Lemuria, what happened on the daily basis? Is that what you were asking about or more?
Yeah, I love that. Yes.
Okay. So, it's interesting. I just found a book that I had in my Kindle that I was reading on the airplane on the way back from Vancouver. And it's very detailed about Lemuria, what happened, why it was named that, where it was, the people, the animals, everything. And yet, as I read it, I had no resonance with it at all. It just was, for me, a very complex, even complicated story that kept referencing history, history shows this and history shows that. And we have no actual historical scientific records yet, although Cryon says
Right.
we will
I
find things.
mean,
So this book was written, I don't know how and what the reference was. And there's also a book by the Lemurian Fellowship in Ramona, California, and that book is called The Sun Rises. And that was one of my first introductions in 1998 to Lemuria. And I didn't, it was an interesting story to me. I didn't go, oh yeah, I was there. Didn't have that. But my husband, Sid, had lived in that spiritual community for 14 years. So he was my first teacher and taught me about what did they do in daily lives. And in daily lives, the women were the honored ones that did the spiritual teaching, that did the healing work, that held the grid for spiritual humanity. And that was my takeaway from that book and the Lemurian Fellowship. And I like this because as a feminist, the women were finally being honored, not like it was when I was, the religion that I was raised in. So that was really my first takeaway about Lemuria. And it was many years of traveling and being with Lee before Cryon started to give information about Lemuria. But when he did, I was there, and Dr. Todd was there, and Dr. Todd Ovakaitis was creating the Lemurian tones at the time. And so I was exposed to every weekend live channels and Lemurian tone, live channel, Lemurian tone. And it finally cracked through, and I had my Akashic awakening. So really, we have so many people now, especially since 2012, since the Great Shift, are remembering things about Lemuria. And if you've seen anything that Lee and Monica have done lately, they present something called the timeline. And it starts 200,000 years ago to present time. And they talk about how humans developed and how the Lemuria developed. Then the Pleiadian consciousness came because Lemurians were already there on this mini continent of Lemuria. They were a human race. They were Lemurians like we're Americans. But it was the consensual experiment between the Pleiadians and the Lemurians, those of higher consciousness, that brought the spiritual energy, the Kundalini. There was no spiritual consciousness until then. They were just people going about their life.
Okay, we lost you for a minute, Amber.
Hopefully she'll come right back.
Yeah, she'll come right back. Isn't that fascinating stuff?
That is fascinating.
Oh gosh, I love that timeline thing. I got to find out more about it.
I mean, I've heard some stuff about Lemuria. The stuff that she's sharing is, I don't know, it just feels different, Like the books that I've read also didn't resonate in the same way, So it's really cool. Oh,
Right.
there she is. She's back.
Hey, Amber. Woohoo.
There we are.
I love it.
I just
Welcome.
disappeared. The energy is pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
So I was saying about the Pleiadian consensual experiment to change the DNA in humans. And they did that by having human babies with the Pleiadian women and the human males. And that shifted the DNA and gave it the spiritual consciousness. And we all still carry that. Us who were there, the old souls who were there at the time. And Cryon has said, and this is an older number, I don't know if it's been revised, that there are 350 million old souls alive on the planet who had a turn coming through Lemuria. Now, that is 50,000 years ago, somewhere in there. And that it was one incarnation, just one. We didn't just keep reincarnating. We did our turn, and then we went out into the world to bring the spiritual consciousness to other places. So, stands to reason if we were, Brian has told me that I had a Pleiadian mother. So if I were 50% Pleiadian and I had my incarnation and left, I take that 50% Pleiadian DNA and, have some more children in the world. So they may have not been in Lemuria, but these children are also carrying that Pleiadian DNA. And it doesn't go away when this vessel turns to dust. It stays in the consciousness of our soul.
Oh, so awesome. It's beautiful. So let's talk about the Star Mothers. And do you feel like bringing them through today for us?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Woohoo.
They'd be happy to. They'd be happy to. I find now more and more that as I talk to them, and as I talk about them, like I just was, I just said things that I didn't know.
Oh, wow.
So I know
Beautiful.
they're already here. So,
Oh, lovely.
yeah. So, any before I start, any comments or questions that it's possible for me to address from the Star Mothers?
Do you want to look for that, Bex, see if there's
I'm
any
looking.
questions?
If anybody has any questions or anything, if you want to put them in real quick, and we'll see if.
Yeah, and then that could be towards the end also.
Sure. And what I would like to know is, because now we're living in special times, is there any messages that the Star Mothers have as we're becoming an ascended planet and an ascended people?
Beautiful. So as we breathe into a place of relaxation and quietness in our mind so that we may be receivers of the Star Mother's information, just clearing, as if you were opening a door to a beautiful garden. So you can just see yourself standing in front of a door. You might want to step out into the garden. Dear Shining Ones, we greet you. Greet you from a place and a space where we are all present together. And there is no separation this day or any day. We are in the garden with you. And we give that beautiful vision to Mele'ha so that she may take you with us, through us, to the Garden of Eden. And this is what we call your beautiful Gaia, your planet Earth, the planet of ascended consciousness. It is the Garden of Eden. And you are the Adams and Eves in it. And yes, there is dark and light. But there is the consciousness, the one source of divine love. And that is who you came to be. That is the reason for this consensual experiment with humanity and divinity, to live that consciousness now. That is what ascension is. That is what Eden is. When you see the beauty around you, you are in that moment living in the Garden of Eden. And it may only last a moment. But that is why you have others. That is why there are beautiful family around you to say, remember, go back to the garden. Go back to those thoughts, those feelings that you have, that you had in the past and that you can have now. What it is like when you step out the door of the shadow and into the light, sounds and the smells of the garden, the consciousness of that garden. And even at night, Should the garden be dark, you know it is there. You know that if you step out, you will be surrounded by the garden at night. And it is your consciousness in alignment with our love, our deep love for you as our children that has created and sustains this garden. It is a field of consciousness that more and more of you are adding to all the time. Thank you from us so much. And as you add to this morphic field of consciousness, more and more of the garden blossoms. Isn't that beautiful? And it blossoms because of your soul. Your soul looks out the door and says, yes, that is my place. That is my light. That is the love of the one divine source in me, for me, and through me as the vessel that I am in the world, in the galaxy. So take a breath with us. And know that the 9 star mothers and the 2 star fathers, making this 11, are with us now and around you. Anyone who is present now, anyone who listens, watches in the future will feel that energy. It is not proprietary to Mele'ha alone. We are with all of our children all of the time. We speak through all of you. Sometimes it is difficult for you to hold the energy of allowing that you are enough to let our love flow through you, to let our words, just to let our heartbeats resonate through you like a wave. And it is truly a wave of divine love that we send to you from 444 light years away. And there is no space and time. There is that scientific measurement, and there is now. So this wave of love is always with you. We never move. You may go into your human consciousness and forget that we are with you, but just back, because we are there. We are waiting. And many times we are longing for you to come home to the garden so that we can give you the smells and the sounds and the tastes of your divine nature. That is how you ascend this planet. That is how you heal yourself and your world. Come to the garden. Let us take you by the hand and by the heart and hold you in our love, dear children of the one divine source. We step back now. Give Mele'ha back to you. We are never more than a thought or a heartbeat away.
That was so amazing. For the first time in my life, when I stepped into that garden, I saw the star mothers. They were all together at first, and then they dispersed in the garden, and one came and was holding my hand. And it was beautiful, and I didn't see the men until you mentioned the men, and they were walking around too. But I didn't see them till you said so. But oh my God, I saw them, and I felt them touch me in my heart. Oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you, Mele'ha and Dr. Amber Wolf.
It really is my honor. My honor.
I just have to
How about
say,
you,
like,
Bex?
well, I had a really tough time, like, the past few days, just working through a lot of my shadow stuff, and this actually made me really emotional because I've been asking to remember. Sorry, hold on. And I remembered.
Oh, Bex, I love you.
Sorry. I felt it, and it was something that I've been feeling really separated from the past couple of days, and that was hard. So thank you.
Beautiful. It was for you today, Bex. It's beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you. And so thank you, Dr. Amber Wolf, for being our guest. It's been so meaningful for us, what we've learned from you. And everyone, I want you to know you can go to her page and you can go to her website, and we have them all in the links, what the stuff I typed in up there. You can find it. You can go there and you can learn and feel more. You can return to that garden anytime. And they're there. And when I feel the star mothers come into me, I usually feel them from above first. But now I'm going to see if I could see them from in front, from in the garden now, and continue. So I thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Amber Wolf.
Absolutely. My honor.
Amazing.
And so we have our announcements today.
Yeah.
And
Just a second, get myself together.
yeah, I'll let Bex get
Take a
together
breath.
while I want to announce. Yeah, take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Special. And then one announcement I have is coming up next weekend. Shelley Soul is the editor of the Akashic Academy magazine, and she has an animal sanctuary called the Blue Heart Sanctuary. And we are doing a fundraiser, an emergency fundraiser to help her starting next week. And many of us are giving up our services for auction. And you'll be seeing announcements about this real soon. So keep your eyes out for this, because this is a big sanctuary where animals are getting their last chance. I mean, recently she rescued that donkey who was on her way to a meat farm and stuff. I mean, we need to give them a good life until the end. So have in mind that this is coming up next weekend, and we'll be putting out the announcement soon. And my friend Bex, my love, are you ready to give your
I'm good now.
announcements?
Yes, I'm good now. Thank you. So remember to share this out, like it up, heart it up, and get it out as much as possible, because every week somebody wins. And last week our winner for sharing it out is Janelle Cameron. She won a star key formation reading with Teresa, and whoever shares out the most this week will win a mini reading with me. So share it out, and we'll find out who wins on next week's episode, which, by the way, next week's episode is going to be Bex and Teresa show, where we are going to pull cards and share what we do and just have a fun half hour just hanging out. And we can't wait to do that. We've been really wanting to have just a relaxed, just us show. And then we have a power-packed month for July. So it's going to be kind of the breath, and then boom, more really amazing guests. So we can't wait. After this, on the Akashic Academy, is Nourishing Your Multidimensional Body with Kathy Homeyer at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, we have the Cosmic Ascension Report with Janelle Cameron. So we hope you check out both those shows. They're both really amazing informational shows that are really going to help you. They have amazing skills and abilities, and I really enjoy their shows. So check them out. And thank you so much, Dr. Wolf. I really, really appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
I just want to say that this weekend coming, I will be in Portland, Maine with Cryon, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Close to me.
It's really my old stomping grounds.
I'm from
there.
New Hampshire. That's where I am. So
Great.
yeah.
Oh, wonderful. And you can find where we're going to be on either one of our calendars. Mine is amberwolfphd /upcoming events, and it's cryon.com/schedule. And I encourage people to listen to the channels that Cryon has given if you want to know more about Lemuria. And also a little tiny sneak peek is that Monica Moroni, author of 3 compilation Cryon books, is also, she and I have created a book called The Women of Lemuria, and that's in the editing process right now.
Oh, I can't wait.
We hope to have it out in October.
Oh,
Yeah, and
that's beautiful.
You'll be able to find that on my website or, of course, in person and so on. So, yeah, I'm really excited about that. And then,
I have
of course,
2 of her books.
The teaching wheel will continue to unfold. There's an event, a 2-day event in Syracuse, New York, where Lee will be teaching more in depth about the teaching wheel, and I will be doing a full day, Lemurian Sisterhood, Goddess Awakening. So after the teaching wheel, so that'll just get us ready for that. Yeah. So thank you, beautiful goddesses, for having me with you this morning. I really enjoyed this. And many, many blessings. May the Star Mothers always light your way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And namaste, folks, and we'll see you next week with the Bex and Teresa show.
Yes.
Thank you. Namaste, my friends. And now I hit stop broadcast.